Now I suppose I should give you the reference number for starters so you can find it whenever you need. You can look for the TW2V22100. That's TW2V22100, the intelligent quartz. It comes in several colorways and a pretty good Amazon find, if you ask me, an affordable price, and you just might find its features useful. Tide, temperature, compass. Oh boy, what more can you ask for? It is amazing the things that you learn from these tool watches. I mean, we're going to need a bird's eye view to check this one out so we can get a closer look and an understanding of what makes this one rock on your wrist. Stick around, it gets exciting. Now for starters, out of the box, you want to make sure you have it set up properly. So let's take a look at, big things right away that can help you in calibrating and getting this watch ready to rock and roll. We'll get the tough stuff out of the way, and then we can celebrate this unique piece on the wrist. Now it is a quartz movement and it has hacking capabilities. So when you're going to be pulling the crown out to set the watch, that seconds hand is going to stop in case you want to actually have it set for some military accuracy. So setting it right out of the box, we'll take a look here. It's important to have first steps out of the way, so that sets the tone for the rest of the operation here. So you're going to pull the crown all the way out, and you'll notice your green fourth hand goes right to the 12 o'clock. This is part of the calibration and very important. If it's not at the 12, you can adjust left or right with these two pushers, top right and bottom right, and they will push it either forward or backwards so that it lines at the 12 o'clock. That is important. Once you have that fourth hand at the top of the 12 o'clock position, you're good to go. You can now turn in a clockwise position and set the dial. The time now is 16:05, so there we are at 16:05, and when we press the crown back in, you'll see that the fourth hand, your green hand, goes back into the last stage that it was at, in which case it was the temperature setting, which is how I like to leave it while I'm wearing it. And you'll know it's in the temperature setting because when you push the green ring pusher, that is for your temperature control. And you'll see that the watch is actually tracking whatever the temperature is of this inside. Now to set the date, you pull it out to the first position and you rotate counterclockwise, and that will move your date wheel so that you can have the accurate date set. Now you have the accurate time and you can move forward with everything else, which is fantastic. Okay, here is where it gets special. Now also it looks like a chronograph because it has top and bottom pushers here on the right side. However, that's not the case. These pushers are actually designed to assist with the functionality of your tide, your temperature, and your compass. So let's start with your tide. Your tide function is the bottom right pusher. Your temperature is the top right pusher, also with a green ring around the actual pusher so that you can remember that. And then the compass is the bottom left pusher. The crown obviously works to assist you with setting the time and date, but also if you press it in, you will have the indigo feature on a simple press by illuminating that under ring or under the dial ring that allows for a little bit increased visibility. So let's start with the tide button, which is controlled by the bottom right pusher. Google the area in which you live and find out what your time is high tide, and based on the information you get, you will know how many hours away from high tide you are, and then you can actually set the watch accordingly, because there's a 12-hour numbering system as far as high tide and low tide in that inner ring dial to assist you. Now the temperature is controlled by the top pusher, as I mentioned, with that green ring around it. It does offer good accuracy. Now sensors are built into the case back here, so keep in mind for best accuracy, you're going to want to utilize that temperature feature while it's off your wrist. And I actually placed it in the outside, and it was like -5 today, and I had it outside on the hood of the car. It was actually going down in temperature as I left it out there exposed to the northern elements here in Canada. So it does work, and it's just a matter of giving it some time to acclimate to the actual conditions. But if you are trying to read the temperature while it's on your wrist, just bear in mind that it's going to be showing obviously your body temperature while it's next to the watch case back. You can even place it underwater with that 100 meters of water resistance, and it will give you the temperature of the water, which is great for fishermen and for anyone out there diving, swimming, doing whatever. And when using the compass, which is your bottom left pusher, simply give it a press It's going to cycle through and then give you the reading for your north. And I'm in the basement, and the front of the house is that way going north, and that's where that green hand is pointing. So now, once again, this is where Google can help you out. If you're living in a particular area and you want to know as far as the declination angle for in degrees for the area you live, simply Google it and it will tell you. Here in Ontario, Canada, I'm -9 degrees as far as the accuracy for true north. So once you know this, it'll help you with the calibration. Now, as far as calibration for the compass there, I actually watched a YouTube video from a young gentleman who put up a great video to show how the calibration is done, which is great to give you that best accuracy. It's Merly on Time Watch Reviews. I'll put a link down below there, so in case you want to get that follow-up information to see how you can calibrate the watch a lot quicker and faster than me explaining it to you, just give them a watch that they have a great explanation for it, and it'll allow you to get up and running, no problem. Now, as a quick recap, temperature right now, I mean, I just had it on the wrist, so it's probably registering somewhere around just under 98 degrees, whatever the human body temperature is. So it's not acclimated to the actual room temperature yet, but temperature up top, tide down below, give that a press. And right now we're experiencing high tide for our area. And then compass, north, behind me, towards the front of the house, that way. And that is accurate. Resets on its own after about 30 seconds, 45 seconds. You'll hear a beep and then it'll go back to the original stage that it was at, or the last stage that it was at, which was the tide graph. If I want to go to temperature, just press the temperature where I like to leave it, and then it goes back to the temperature setting. Let's get her on the wrist and check her out. My wrists are 7¼ inches. There's lots happening with this tool watch, but for the price point, you will be excited to know what the capabilities are we have here. We will get it on the wrist, show you how it looks in some different scenarios, and then you can get a feel for whether or not you can make that decision and pull the trigger for you. Is it going to work for you? Let me know, comment below. I'm 7¼ inch wrists, and you know what? It actually doesn't wear too bad at all. I can speak to the comfort. It's beautiful with the silicone rubber, and in relation to that weight, it's only 93 grams, I believe it was, and it's got that nice soft feel. That's the thing. What it comes down to at the end of the day is that nice soft feel. You've got nice good flexibility there, not pinching. It really feels nice, and you can wear it, you know, and that's the thing. If you're going to be wearing it as maybe your everyday carrier or whatever it might be, you want something that's going to offer you that comfort and give you nice, long-lasting support the whole day, 24/7. I'll pop the specs up here for you. This 45mm case is great with the brushed case design, 316 stainless steel, bi-directional bezel with compass design on top. Looks really nice and sharp. I mean, basically, you can find north wherever you are, and then you'll know what direction you're headed in right out of the top of the watch. So it's awesome that way. I mean, a great feature for those of you who are on the go, outdoorsy, and all the rest of it. A unique integrated 15mm lug design with an outside width of 23mm for this lug, with screw-down ends as well. So I guess that'll assist you in strap changes, but you're likely going to need to find a nice strap that's compatible with this design. So otherwise, it still tapers down from that 22 or 23mm down to the 19mm at the pin and buckle closure. So, but yeah, like I mentioned, great feel. The lug to lug is 53mm, like I mentioned earlier. Anything over 50 sometimes can be large for people. Let me know if this is going to fit you or if it's going to be too big for you. Doesn't wear like that large look, but definitely it's there at 53mm. And we have an overall reasonable thickness of 13mm, and with the mineral crystal, you know, sitting below a hair or two below the rotating bezel, offers good visibility, yet you're protected against bumps and strikes. So, I mean, that's a great part of the design that I like as well. A nice rugged look with the brushed steel, and even the little knobby grip aids around the bezel assisting with the rotation of that bezel is a nice touch too. You don't see that too often. If you like a tool watch and you're into the outdoors, I mean, this one could be right up your alley. Now let's look at the dial here. It's busy, but everything is there for a reason. Start on the inside and work our way to the outside. We have an inner dial that looks after your tide scale, the 12-hour scale, within the inside of this dial. And that offers you the ability to know the accurate high or low tide in your particular area. Now, the outside of that ring is a large temperature ring running from the 7 o'clock all the way around to the 5 o'clock position, giving you the scale in both Celsius and Fahrenheit so that you know your temperatures. at the quick glance on the wrist. Now lastly, we have the hour markers with TIMEX signed at the 12 on top with this nice dark blue dial. It's TIMEX, and guess what? You know it has Indiglow. So yeah, a simple press of the crown in will allow you to view that inner ring. I wish it was fully illuminated, but it's not. But either way, you still will have lume points on the hours, as well as the baton style hands are loomed as well for a great response to low light situation. A large seconds hand is green, and it's an intelligence quartz movement here with that fourth hand, not a GMT, but the utility hand to track your tide, your temperature, and your compass. A 3-button functionality with a crown that is not screwed down, but overall your water resistance is 100 meters. And the crown allows for quick set of the time as well as the date complication. It's positioned at the 6 o'clock position, and it's framed out with a white circular accent window in case you missed that date. Now I know overall there's so much to keep track of, but a couple $100 price point, you can't really go wrong for all you want for the outdoorsy tool watch design. I'm Ross, and this is the TIMEX Expedition Intelligent Quartz Tide Temperature Compass. Thanks for coming to the channel. I appreciate all the support. Let me know how you feel about this one. I mean, it may not be for you, it may not be for everyone, but it certainly has a lot of stuff that can appeal to the masses. You know what they say about TIMEX, right? I'm not even going to say it. Tide Temperature Compass. It's an intelligence quartz. I guess we'll see you on the next one.